Hello. Now it has been 2 years since the start of Russia-Ukraine war, and there are many geopolitical and geo-economical lessons which we have gained in past 2 years. Number one, I will say, is the myth of the Western power, and that has crumbled because of these 2 years, and it was being propagated, or the propaganda was done by the Western media in the first 1.5 year that Russia is about to lose. They were showcasting that even Russia will fragment into so many pieces and Putin will be very soon out of power, but nothing of that sort happened. Then the revolution phenomena, that has also failed, and that has failed because the countries now understand, the countries of the global south particularly have understood how the Western media, the Western social media, their governments, their agencies, they start color revolutions in countries against the regimes which they do not like. And the latest one was in Russia. They tried to do it via coup, and the leader of the coup that time was Prigozhin, once very close to Vladimir Putin, but then became on odds and tried to do coup. Then before that, in Kazakhstan also, they tried to go for a color revolution and a regime changed. But there also they failed, and they failed badly. And after Navalny's death there in Russia, the supposedly leader of color revolution is also gone. Then if you look at Putin's popularity, they were thinking and they were propagating, the Western media was propagating that he's a tyrant and people do not like him, and the people will come on the street and he will be out of power very soon. But right now it looks like his popularity is on the apex. Then they were talking about divisions of Russia, dividing Russia, but today Russia looks more united than it was ever, and we saw that hundreds of thousands of Russians left their country and went to other countries. Many of them bought property in Dubai. Many went to Western capitals. Many got citizenship of Turkey via investment routes. So, most of those people who would have supported some kind of color revolution are now out of Russia. That is the reason I say that Russia looks more stronger and more united today. Even those regions or those states or provinces of Russia, like it was the case of Chechnya, who was once on odds with the central government of Russia, they are supporting Russians in their war there in Ukraine. That is the reason, and I think that it looks to me that under President Putin, Russia is more united than it was ever. Then we also saw a global south phenomenon, and in all the UN General Assembly voting, most of the global south countries, they were standing with Russia. And we also saw the same kind of thing when it comes to the Gaza war, Israel-Gaza war, Israel-Palestine war. The global south is standing with Palestine. The global south stood with Russia. So a global south phenomenon can be seen. Then the limits to sanction has also reached, because they made, actually the United States and the Western countries, they made Russia one of the most sanctioned countries on the earth, and they thought that by doing so they will shatter the Russian economy. But they forgot that, and I've been saying this thing since past 2 years. They call it anything, but Russian economy is the food surplus and energy surplus economy. And finally, if you have food, if you have energy, if you have commodity, you are going to survive the sanctions. They targeted India when we Indians went for nuclear tests, but those sanctions failed, and these sanctions have failed against Russia as well. And Russian economy is doing very well. Uh, there can be a reason of a war economy, but this, if you apply the same kind of reason in Europe, European countries are in a very bad shape. United Kingdom is officially under recession, and Germany is deindustrializing. France's condition, economic condition, is not very good. So the big countries of Europe, they are under recession or doing very bad, and I think by next quarter officially German economy may enter recession very soon. So we have also seen seen limits to sanctions, though after failing the sanctions, now they will try, and reports are there that the Western lawyers, they have said that it is legal to annex or to utilize the 300 billion US dollar worth of Russian assets there in the Western capitals, or they can use it to fund Ukraine, or they can take it as collateral. But if you have money and if you have resources, you can always find such kind of lawyers who will say for every illegal thing that it is legal to do it. Well, they will go for it, and I think that they may go today or tomorrow for that, for confiscating Russian already freezed assets or taking it as collateral on the second anniversary of this war. But this will also not do what they want to do. Instead, it will be harming them more, because now what will happen, the global south countries will think 100 times before putting their money in Western institutions, because tomorrow if you are on odds with the Western camp, then you will be sanctioned, your money will be freezed and even confiscated. And now they are also bringing some kind of secondary sanctions on companies of China, India, Turkey and UAE because of their links with Russia. And well, I don't think that there won't be any impact of this in the relationship, especially the financial relationship with the global south. Then we have also seen the limits to propaganda, because I have been saying that Western war is more of propaganda, and just up till last month they were saying that the conflict of Ukraine is actually stagnant, but the biggest, you can say, the biggest dent this propaganda got was in Avdiivka, and even social media hit them hard because many things were coming out on social media. Then we also saw the real face of neocons, that anywhere there is a conflict, they, in the entire world, instead of putting water on the conflict, these neocons put gasoline on it. They want the war should ignite so that they can earn money by their military industrial complex. Then vis-a-vis war, we also saw many things. There was much hype that those Leopard tanks are coming from Germany, those Challengers are coming from UK, and it will be game changer. They quite often use the term game changer, but we saw that those were hit hard. Even the American Patriot missile system which they gave to Ukraine, there are reports that 5 out of 7 have been destroyed by Russians. So this is a hype that Western war machine is very strong. It is not that strong, and this Russian conflict has shown this. Then if you talk about India, what India has gained, and I think that India deserves praise for taking a very balanced position when the war started, and for refusing to join the chorus of condemnation of Russia. And we also gained a lot of benefit via the crude oil, cheap crude oil, discounted crude oil we got from Russians and India actually became more closer to Russia because of our stand, of our free and independent foreign policy stand, which most of the countries, especially those countries who are having very good relationship with West, were not able to do. So it is a win-win situation for Indian diplomacy as well as Indian economy, and also the Russia-India relationship has strengthened. Now we talk about China, what China has gained. China also stood with Russia and diplomatically and economically, and also got a lot of benefit from the cheap Russian crude, and overall the relationship with between Russia and China are on all time high. If you talk about in strategic terms, China has been a net gainer because the US has been distracted what is happening in Ukraine, and now what is happening in Gaza keeps the US away from the Indo-Pacific and its containment policy of China, which definitely Beijing is quite happy about, and the net gainer here becomes China. And I had been saying from the day one of this war that the net gainer of this conflict will be China and nobody else. So my words are coming true, and Americans must understand that nobody is their rival, as big rival as China, and China is gaining a lot because of this war. And what will happen in the third year? It is unlikely that Russians intend to take control of whole of the Ukraine. So the question will be what Russians will consider as a victory, and what such a victory would mean for Americans and for Europeans and Ukrainians. I will keep Ukrainians at the last. But I don't believe that any type of peace talk will take place. A more meaningful peace talk will take place in this year because of the US elections, and post US elections there will be something which we can think about. So I think that war will go on this year as well. Thank you.